We can't hear you again. We can't hear you.
Shit.
Zalendo, we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now? Let me fix my mic properly. I don't know what is the problem today in my studio. My audio. Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me right now. Penny, can you hear me? Penny, can you hear me? Penny.
Yes, you can hear you.
You can hear me properly right now.
Yes.
Yes. I think when I began the show, my audio was not very much okay. I apologize for that, our viewers, for the technical issues that we had on our end. But right now, I believe you can hear me loud and clear. What we are talking about tonight now is the Morara attack. This young gentleman was again attacked in Narok when he went to do his vampire diary. I don't know whether Penny you are aware of the attack on Morara this evening.
No, I am not. I just saw the clip where he went to the hospital that was supposed to be built and it's all torn down and it is not functioning. And they went to a market where all the ladies were really hugging him and everything.
Mhm.
That's it. That's it. One of your attack.
No, Morara was attacked today, yesterday. I don't. Yeah, today in when he went to Narok, he went to look at that the activities in Narok to do his vampire diary. That is when after that he was going to another place somewhere in Narok, and this vehicle, his entourage was attacked by goons. Apparently, according to the rumors that we got in our studios, is that the governor sent the goons, and the vehicle belonging to the governor was chasing Morara up and down in Naro. Some of his crew were actually attacked and injured. We spoke with him this evening. He was in the hospital with his team, trying to find some treatment for them. So it is sad. It is a sad day that there is a lot of political intolerance in Kenya, and people have to be very, very careful because the political class is ready to do anything at their disposal in order to attack anybody who is not agreeing with them. So that is happening. So, Penny, what do you make of this? You are being a supporter of Morara and having seen the grandfather George Morara, which you never failed to tell us here on Africa. What do you make of this situation?
No, this young man is coming across as his grandfather did in Gusi land, but this one is in Kenya as at large, and he's having an impact that is as big as his dad had even in Kenya. He was going to be the next. He was rumored to be the next president when he was killed, and he talks and behaves like his granddaddy completely.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like they say, his granddaddy found the guy who killed Tom Boyer. And when he got to Nairobi, he gave a press conference very clearly. This is early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave a press conference and said that he would want to see the grave of where this guy was buried. And they didn't make it there. It didn't make it. It was on Wednesday. He said it was on produced by Wednesday. But I think by Sunday they killed him on Monday when he went to a fundraiser in Kakamega, and he was
Mm-hmm.
from Kakamega to Kisumu, then Kisii, lakini he never made it to Kisumu. And the car that, I mean, the Land Rover that had an accident with him was never found.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a police job or something, because they followed him when the car had fell down, and they found that he was still alive, and they used blunt objects to kill him,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. Now this guy is doing exactly the same thing, and because Ruto knows this is the only threat he has in Kenya as far as Kenya is concerned. Mutata, everybody else, Wanjimi Wanjigi, Ogingo Dinga, Mother Karua, everybody, Atahuyu Kalonzo. This is the only person that he knows that can take him out anytime, because he talks the language of the people, and the people like him. Especially when he went to Naroko today, you see the market, vile mama walikuwa wanamshambulia. You feel proud. You feel proud to have known a character like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is sad that it's being attacked, but it's being attacked by the powers to be. But it is a sad day for Kenya today.
Yeah, I felt it in his voice that this is somebody who is almost afraid for his life right now. That every time he goes out there to give the civic education that is so important to us, is being attacked. I wish. The government could protect him and give him the necessary tools that he requires in order to do whatever he's doing in terms of civic education. But the government seems not ready to help this young man called Morara, and instead they are ignoring his calls. And by the time he's asked for, he's asked for protection, and a lot has been said on the social platform that Morara is a government project. What do you make of this? People are saying that Yamani a project ya Gava. Mm?
No, those are very naive rumors, very stupid rumors, because this proves if he's a project of the government, then why could they attack him? Why could the same governments be attacking him? You know, those are just rumors that don't make sense. But the guy vile ninakwambia, the way he has come across, and as bold as he is, he
Mm,
reminds us of what his granddaddy did, and it was more bold. Unajua tulikuwa na mzee Lawrence George Sagini, mzee Nyamweya, the foreign minister, na huyu mwingine alikuwa sijui state president, I mean minister, lakini
mm,
of all those, this guy Morara came through them, between them, and he was as popular as they can be, as far as Kenya was concerned. And this young man is doing the same thing. It could never be a state project. And they say he has really promised us that we get it. Some of us who trust him, because anybody can promise anything, and then they can be lying by their promises. But this guy, the way he has promised, some of us believe what he's meant to say and what he says. And he will do what he has to do to propel the country forward.
Yeah, I saw Tabitha joining and then leaving. I needed her to come. I don't know why they are shy of comment on the issues that are affecting Morara, but we need the team to come here and tell us exactly what they feel this evening when their leader is attacked by by the governor of Narok. I mean, this is so barbaric. This is something that we didn't expect this century, especially in Kenya. And it just shows you the political intolerance that we have in our country. People cannot tolerate each other anymore. There is a lot of division in tribe. People are now defending a governor who has looted over $500 million uh, in Narok, and they're ready to defend it. What do you make of this? Are we that corrupt? Are we ready for change, Mr. Penny?
Yeah, we are able. Unajua huko our governors wana hoodlums about hang around them, and all they have to do is pay them a little money, and they do anything they want. So that's very very clear. We have seen it. We know it. Uh, that's exactly what he's doing, and this is all over the country. It's everywhere. You
Mm.
know. So he's doing what normally everybody does, and we hope that this guy can have a better security, because if you win anything, you should win with ideas, not by carrying rungus and all this other stuff.
But when you talk about security, I mean, this is an issue that they have been grumbling about. Who is able to provide security for a candidate or somebody who is against the state? Who is supposed to provide that security?
It should be the Minister of Interior, but
The
these
same
are
ministry of
compromising people.
yeah. Are there private security firms that are reliable in our country that somebody can
No,
go to? Hmm?
no,
The answer
not
is
that
no.
easy. No, but this security buyer and Sasa, he has hired them. The ex army officers, ex police.
Mm,
He has hired them, and that's
mm,
why maybe he's surviving the one today. Because either Uko, where he was attacked when Kuchuan was the chairman,
mm,
he really taught him a lesson. And so he has rearranged it to where he's really even paying the guys that are securing him today. So
mm,
it is sad. He has to really expand his entourage about
mm.
whenever he goes somewhere, he would.
Yeah, you would have. I think his vehicles are already been marked. They are so identical. So he needs to get something smaller, like a Probox, a Volkswagen, a Demio, when he's going in disguise in some of these areas. I mean, that is all we want to see in that somebody who is offering an alternative. We protect him the much as we can. We thank the people who have been supporting Morara in whatever he's doing, because this is civic education and that is what we need for our country. We are fully here in Africa backing whatever Morara is doing. And there's so many people, the invisible people like Penny Nyagaka, uh, who supports Morara all the way from Texas, and yet they have never met. But you met his grandpa and you talk passionately about George, yeah? Yeah. Was he your
Yeah.
age Penny was Penny was I
Oh
want to
no 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 no
was he
no
your age
no no
Uh-huh.
no! I was in Form One, and there was then a member of Parliament, and he used to hang out with hello.
Yes.
He
Oh,
used to
okay.
hang out. He used to hang out with one of my teachers who became the MP for I mean, in Wanjari, Mark Boside, and
Yeah,
he could come.
I heard about Bosire. That
Yeah,
family, that family
he will
also
come and
is very powerful.
yeah,
Bosire,
he will come and pick Osire up, and they will go party in Kisumu and then come back on Monday. So that's
oh,
how I knew him.
all right.
You
So
know,
yeah, we didn't know much about him. So each and every time we have you here, you give us that wise counsel and knowledge about some of these leaders that we might not have seen during our
yeah.
time. Yeah, we can only talk about the people we've seen, the people like Raila Odinga. Now back to the impeachment and the politics around the impeachment and the realignment. I would also want to ask you one question that you, as an elder, do you think it is time for these small parties to come together and form a force that will fight Ruto's government in 2027?
Uh, you say the impeachment and parties to form one party to fight right out. I mean, yeah, Ruto.
Yes. I want to start with the last question. Do you think it is time that people who are anti-Ruto government should come together and form a coalition that will face the government in 2027?
As we speak right now, Zalando, everybody's on their own. Ukiona huyu nani, huyu the comedian Eric Omondi, ukiona Kalonzo, ukiona Wamarwa, everybody's pulling their own direction. Like when you put them all in a marketplace, huyu Murara beats them hands down. So what they have done is when the Murara is in trouble, they are there. But when they have the ideas to put the ideas together, then they don't. So usually tunaona tu mbele yake, lakini we know that in the future kama 2027 akifika huko, if Morala is there, he will beat them. He will beat anasema, he says it himself. He will go to the election and let the best man win. You know, for example, from the party itself. You know, so there is nobody who would beat Morala in his party. So now his party will be one of the most popular parties in Kenya today. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Like went from there. Like in how we have seen the history of what they have done. They are always pulling, on their own.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to attack. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen everybody pulling on their direction, and one thing I was emphasizing for the Morara team, they should like media. They should like these are the platforms that people communicate directly to the people. They should enjoy coming to such platforms to communicate directly to the Kenyan people. If they don't communicate directly to the Kenyan people, then their message is lost somehow in the middle. But I agree with you. Everybody is pulling towards their direction. So when the right time comes, we hope that there will be a unity, because with unity there is strength. I don't think that Morara can go it alone. That one is out of the table. He has to form coalitions that they have the same agenda. So that way they can have their message directed to the people in a more positive and impactful way to make change, and the change that we want and the change that we believe in. So the issue of the impeachment of the deputy president, you heard that the court stopped the swearing in, which is supposed to be tomorrow on Mashuda Day. Was it today or tomorrow? One of those days on Mashuda Day. Uh, to Ruto's supporters and by extension ODM supporters also. I have seen why is Raila's political party so much involved in this, Penny? If you look at it,
because Raila always, when he's promises something, he does everything to make sure that it works. When Kibaki lied to him about prime ministership, he did everything and campaigned for him hands down. Mpaka akaona kama Kibaki amekuwa president.
Mm-hmm.
Raila never let somebody down to kumpatia ile anataka. So this guy amepatia pesa, amechukua pesa ya ndani amepatia, and is really promising him the AU, and is doing everything to see that this guy succeeds and Ruto succeeds. What is good is kama jana or Thursday, I think ndugu yake alifukuzwa huko Kisumu, and that's one of the things that one heard of, before
Ndugu
this
yake mgani?
mkubwa huyo mzee.
Oburu
Yeah.
alifukuzwa. Hiyo sijasikia bwana,
Alifukuzwa.
mbona hujaniambia hiyo?
Alifukuzwa Kisumu mbaya sana. Ukiangalia kwa internet utaona.
Ati Oburu Odinga, what was the issue?
Si alikuwa anaendesha hiyo maneno yao ya 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 Ruto na akakatazwa. Akasema Ruto must go. Akawa yeye mpaka akatoroka.
Oh yeah. I have seen the trending news that he was chased in Kisumu.
Yeah. So when you see something like that happening, now then you know that Raila Odinga is done. Wacha aseme ili anataka support ule anataka. There will be nothing like that in 2027. Kama Kisumu peke yake,
I am telling. Huh?
kama Kisumu
that is a good sign. Do you know what that means? That's a very big political statement, Mr. Penny.
Yeah.
How would they fair fight this one?
Yeah. Sasa Wajaluo wamechoka na huyu mtu kabisa. Yeah. So they are not going to follow him like like dogs everywhere he goes. Wamekataa. So even Ruto bringing him home, he's going to get nothing. He thought that he would bring Raila home and then he replaced it with the votes from the mountain. And the votes from Luyaland and Luoland have refused. So that would be good.
And Raila is making all these mistakes, and he knows very well that the people are anti-Ruto at the same time. They are anti-Adani. Why is he's pushing so hard for what the people of Kenya don't want to work?
Hiyo wacha nikueleze ya kwamba Mzalendo, this guy is used for nearly 40 years. He has had people following him. Akichange kwenda left, wanaenda left. Akichange kwenda right, wanaenda right. But now he has hit a wall ya kwamba watu hawataki kwenda na yeye bahali anataka kwenda. And it is for 40 years. He was used to it, Lakini sasa amepata, people have refused completely ya kwamba they are not going to follow him anywhere he goes, So there is something new. There is something new for everybody, for every time, for everyone. That he news yake Raila. That's why he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I saw when he really made me sick when he talked about Adani the other day, and I was like, okay, this guy is auctioning the country also, or what does he mean by what he's talking about? He was so much into the Adani deal, and when I looked at the Adani deal and also did a feature on it. Yeah, I was like, okay, these guys, there is something that they know that we don't really know. Yeah, there is something that they want for this country that we don't even have an idea what it is. So Baba I think Baba mambo yake imeisha kisiasa, and I hope that he has learned his lesson. If not, Wakenya watamfundisha adabu na watu wake in 2027, because he has to read the mood of the country. But have you noticed that Babu Owino, the young people in his movement are no longer as vibrant as they used to?
Yeah, today Babu Wino was with Kalonzo huko Karen kuona Gachagua.
Can
And
you imagine Babu Owino going to? Yeah,
yeah,
this is a different Babu Owino, and we advised him on this platform that it
yeah,
is high time he moves away from Raila shenanigans, and and try and search his own political path. Mm?
yeah,
And the young man has done exactly that, because what he has done is he has really impressed me. By the way, that he has moved away from Raila technically to search his political path, and is going to vie uh, for the gubernatorial race. Or I will not be surprised if one Kalonzo Musyoka selects him as a running mate in 2027. Do you think there's a possibility of that? Mm.
well, governor, I think that's a very viable one, and we really
You
support it
see,
because
akikuwa governor wa Nairobi, governor wa Nairobi, Babu Owino is going to be then. If he sticks with Kalonzo Musyoka, then definitely he's going to be the governor for Nairobi in 2027. Sakaja cannot match Babu Owino. Sakaja will not be able to match Babu Owino in 2027. I am joined here by Vanis Nyakundi. Vanis, karibu sana Afrika, and please tell us where you are before we continue.
I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, Dallas, Texas. You are with your brother here. Benny, who is also in Dallas, Texas. So I have a lot of people from Dallas today on the studio, and that is interesting. I want you to take another step after we have finished with the conversation and subscribe to our Freak 24, so that we can have this conversation about Morara going. And I am glad you guys are on the platform finally. This is where we talk about Kenyan politics and reach out to the masses who have got no information about what we are doing on the background, people in the diaspora. So make Afrique 24 your home, where we can come have a chat in politics, especially if you are interested in change. This is the place to be. So feel at home na mumekaribishwa sana. Penny, maybe can you introduce yourself to the lady? They have just
yeah,
joined.
Venice, where are you exactly in Dallas? In Plano, where?
Van is just unmute.
I'm in
Yeah.
Dallas, Dallas.
Oh, Dallas, Dallas. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. And we also have
North
Ruth.
Dallas or South Dallas?
I'm East Dallas. I live in Lolette.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up there. Grew up in
Mm-hmm.
East Texas, Garland, Dallas, Forest Lane. You come out. Haribuna comes.
Okay.
All right.
So that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ruth, please introduce yourself. Ruth Mbuthia. Ruth, if you can hear me, just unmute your mic, and we want to hear your voice. Uh, Ruth, whenever you have time, please unmute your mic so that we can know you and later on give you a submission. Anyway, this is Afrique 24. This is where we discuss the politics that is happening in our country. Vanis, a question to you. Um, we have really condemned what happened to Morara Kibasu this evening. I need you also to raise your voice on that particular matter. We keep pushing, we keep saying that the government should not continue condemning people who are opposing it, and they should not use that brutal force, especially the governor who attacked Morara yesterday. What do you say about that?
I know, that's I don't know, that's Kenyan government, and the one thing I know, they don't listen to anybody. They don't listen to nobody. That's the usual business. Because if you watch, like when he was attacked on Bomas, it was on camera. It was security. There was everybody. Nothing was done. So I guess the only thing I can say is we keep condemning it, and at the same time, they need to play safe. Like their life is very important. They need to, like, when they do this rallies, they security have their own security, because at the end of the day, even if they're seen, because the government, I feel like, is behind it, is supporting them. They allow it to happen, so nothing will be done. But your life is important, so they need to have, like, build up their security. Whatever they do, these even change the route. If instead of going back to Nairobi, change the route, because it's like these people are really monitoring and they're after them. So it's just to confuse them and to survive, because at the end of the day, the government, they're not gonna give him security. That's what I feel like, that the government is not gonna give him security unless he hires his own security. At the same time, you don't know how they are targeting you, so you have to play safe. That's all I say, because life is very important, and life is very important, and we
Yeah.
need it. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
Penny, maybe you can jump in and let us really condemn this act of this barbaric act of the governor for Narok.
Yeah, it's very one of the saddest moments of our history because, like Vani says, the government of the day, when it is involved in destroying you, with we saw in the bombers of Kenya, it is very, very difficult to change anything. Now, what is good about it in a combat is Morara now has hired very professional security people. About is asking for us some money so that he can pay them, and we'll do that. And we wish him the best. Eh? When is nyumbani ni wapi nkagari ngaimon?
Maybe Vanis doesn't know that language. Venice.
I know. Gachuba. Gachuba. It's Nyamira. It's part of Nyamira. But
Gachuba.
yeah.
Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
used to pass it through there to go to Tombe when I was a baby.
Oh, okay.
Natoka Nyaguta, Keumbu, Gachuba, then climb up to Tombe.
Oh, okay. I know the area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you never grew up there?
No, I grew up there.
Okay, that's good.
All
Let's
right.
finish the show. You're confusing people at the show. Let's finish the show.
Oh, Penny is an elder in this show, and sometimes he comes with this wise counsel, and he happens to have seen Morara's grandpa George
Yeah,
Morara during his time. So he
yeah,
keeps on telling us, taking us back to the memory lane when Morara's grandpa, and where Morara gets the courage from his generation uh, of leaders that have been there in his time, in his family. Now, Vanis, today we had a conversation with Morara about him maybe looking at a possibility of having uh, joining other movements like Okiem Tata and the rest of the people who are agitated by the government of William Ruto. Do you think that the unity is important at this particular moment? Vani.
Yes. Okay. To me, I feel like there's some politicians with the character that we align with, not all of them.
Yeah.
But now the question comes, you know, the movement, people, what they trust him, and if they see him. But as we say, like Omtata, for example, it's a of a good character. I disagree when they say Onyonga or don't beat me up, but I disagree with him. It's like a watermelon. So there's those characters which people might be agreeing, and those characters people might not agree. But if they share common interests, I think it will be a movement because to tackle this Sakayo, you need a strong hand to tackle him. So you need a strong movement for sure.
Yeah.
And
Mhm, mhm.
if he chose to go that route, he just need to choose, and and at least those people with not bad character. Let me use that word, bad character, like and have their structure set forth. People can judge if they want to join or not. But there's people of good morals, which
Mhm.
but there's nobody is 100% at the same time. Nobody is 100% as we charge them. Some people they might agree we were on this, but we are against this. They have changed. So I feel those people with like Omtata, yes, I agree. But there's some people people were throwing names. I tend to disagree with them because I feel they're not of interest. Because at the end of the day, some people their interest is not about the people. At the end of the day, it's about getting in power, and getting empowering themselves, not about the people. That's where it becomes tricky. So yes, some people are of good character. They can if he's willing, but I'm not sure if he's willing. Some people are of good character. He can join hands, cause to tackle this man called Sakayo is a tough work. It's not easy.
Yeah, Bernice, I agree with you. Ruto is a smart politician. He's not your average politician. He's not tackling Kalonzo Musyoka or Raila Odinga. This man is extremely smart, extremely smart,
Is
but
it-
he has got his weaknesses. Penny.
How can you call him a smart man when he has thrown out the the population of the Kikuyus for the population of the Luos and the Luyas? You can call that the smart because Babu, what the Luos don't vote, the Luyas don't vote in one basket, but he has thrown out all the Kikuyus who voted to him like 87%, and ninasikianga watu wakisema is smart. I don't think that is
But
a
if
smart.
you watch him, he's going to coast. He's trying to bring you Nani, the former, is it governor, whatever. So it's going all over. His him is not about anything else other than 2027. So when you see what he's trying to do, is giving all these people to see if they can bring him votes. And the Kindiki, whatever you want to bring in, is about the votes of Mount Kenya, Mulima, Mulima, Mulima. So I feel like people were saying Kindiki might not qualify. He might end up appointing somebody again from Mulima because he still feels like you need to lie to this Mulima because they say 7 million votes. So his target is how to get the votes. It's not what you believe in. It's how he can manage to cling the 50 plus one and become a president. That's his aim. So that's where he's trying to bring in the laws. I don't know if the Ruo will stand. They might, because Papa said, actually, Ruos are, I might use the word, Ruos, they go in a block. If Baba says they might vote for him. If you look the other day, is it Miri Tiambo, whatever, Miri was dancing. I like that lady, but after they were government, he was the one dancing for Ruto. I'm like, seriously? So Luos, I feel Luos are more, they can flip. If he can maintain them up to 2027, they'll vote for him. But I don't think Papa is going to get African something election. So he might flip too when he comes back. If he didn't get it, he might want to run again for president. It might change the game. Who knows?
Benny, I didn't say, I said, let me just rectify my statement. Ruto is politically smart, and Ruto is a political thug. Those are the right words I can use. He's smart politically. He does calculated moves. He just doesn't make moves to fail. He knows what he's aiming at. For him going for Kindiki is just looking at a small block of Mount Kenya region that will vote for him, not the entire. One is, I can correct you there. He's not looking at the entire 8 million Mount Kenya votes. He's not looking for that. He's only looking for, if I can get 2 million, 1.5 million, I'm okay with it. That is what he's looking for in Mount Kenya right now. But just as you said, which is very correct, the Luo community, I said they are the most, and I don't know whether to call it, I don't even have a name for this. This is a time that you even embarrass to call yourself a Luo politically, because what they have shown is that they don't have any principles. The principles are gone completely. They follow things so blindly. Uh, they look at a criminal that they call this guy a criminal. Today, tomorrow is clean, and they support him. This is the same man who killed your children, and tomorrow you are busy there saying it is just okay. As Kenyan society is rotten to the core. That's how I look at it. We are dealing with a society where somebody can just kill you and walk away with it. Penny.
Yeah, Mzalendo, vile that you looked that up today, vile uliona nani was chased Oburu Oginga, I was chased in Kisumu. That shows that the target that Ruto is coming along will not work, because if the Luos voted to the man, Raila could be president today. A lot of Luos did not vote for Raila. They stayed home. How are you going to impress them to vote for this thug? Now, you can see an example period ya Raila amefukuzwa huko kwenu nyumbani Kisumu. So we will see that it will not work. He's a thug, that's true. But hiyo thug yake ni mbaya na it doesn't work. He thinks that once he put Raila in his pocket, then he has everything Raila has, and it will not work. So you go to Western, it will not work when alikuwa na huyu Mudavadi na Wetangula, it never worked. So hii political thuggery yake ni kuona huyu mtoto yetu Morara if he goes all the way to 2027, he will beat this guy hands down. And you see how he's loved everywhere in Kenya, sio mimi peke yake. Na huko kwa ile show ingine wanilipatiza jina yangu sasa ni anko ya Morara, na nikakubali kwa sababu this guy is loved all over the country, and he says what the people want to hear, and he speaks ile mwananchi common language. Uliona vile nakwambiaga Mzalendo all the time, ule Abrudida 2013, he came from nowhere and he beat people like Mother Karua, very senior politicians, because he was talking about what the people want to do, the problems that people have. And this Morara young man is doing the same thing. So we really pray for him. We pray that he makes it 2027 and he beats this guy hands down. And that anybody can beat this guy. Anybody can win. Even Kalonzo can beat him, because he political thuggery yake, he has done a very bad disservice to the country of Kenya. And
Benny, where I disagree that Morara can beat uh, Ruto and down is he cannot beat him alone. He has to work with other political figures. And as Vanessa said, people like Okia Mutata are already in the political matrix. People look at them as people who can bring change in Kenya. Uh, so he needs to work with another group of politicians like Okia Mutata and many like-minded politicians. Because let me tell you, that, even you are here in the U.S. and you see that uh, Trump is so excited when he gets a Democrat, to join his campaign. Same to Kamala Harris. Although they don't share the same views, but they would rather work together to see the country move forward. So coalitions are so important. And when you build them, the earlier the better. But when you build them later on, they might not work out, just like we have seen in the past. I don't know what your take on that.
no, I agree with you 100%. And like I said, this Borana guy has said that he will go in the poll about whoever wins runs for president. The nomination. Whoever wins, then he runs for president. That's why Dania Takwa, Omutata, and Kalonzo, and everybody else. Yani, what you're saying is true because anywhere where you get the people from the opposite position of political thinking agree with you or seem to agree with you, you get points. You don't even get that one person; you get two, three of them from that position, that end. So we want all that. We agree with that, all of it. Some of us support for Borara is not like he has to be single-handedly going there na yeye peke yake ndio ashike afanye kitu ambayo kinatakikana. No, we agree with him so that he can follow. We can be with everybody else. You know, guaranteed some of us have accepted what he's doing, lakini ya kwamba he has to have somebody else. Hapo ni kweli. There we cannot disagree with that at all. I hope Zarendo.
Okay. If Osam is saying, Osam, nice to see you. It's been quite some time. You are saying that if Kashagwa is allowed to run in 2027, I will vote for him instead of Morara. I don't know why you are saying that. I sincerely don't know. Taking a lead because of a small greeting means he's not a leader who can stand during tough times. Oh, Osam is saying when Morara was attacked at Bomas, I came out quickly to say that he's taking a small leave because of the attack. Yeah, he said that. Penny, can you answer my Osam?
Ozam has always been against Morara for some reason. Lakini that is his or her opinion. So we cannot disagree. I mean, some of us disagree with that 100%. Lakini he has a right to hold those kind of views. Ya kwamba then I mean, huyu nani amekuwa impeached, Gashawa. So Ozam should tell us who really is voting for in 2027, kwa sababu huyu nani will not be allowed, kwa sababu he has gone time bus, yani kuresign. Angeresign, he could have looked for election in 2027. Lakini only 3 years from now, even the people that would have to change the laws so that you can do away with that hiyo impeachment yake will not be in parliament. wao ambao wako parliament ambao wamepitisha hii sheria zote, they have done so. So oza lazima tuambie nani atapigia kura yake 2027, na tunamwaja huyu Ruto akae tu mpaka 27 because we are setting presidents and the example, very good example ya kwamba we need at least 4 years for somebody to govern the country. Now, if he has followed the 5 years about the Adipo constitution, so be it. Lakini lazima tuambie nani atapigia kura mwaka huo. Thank you very much, Mzalendo.
One good thing about Osam is saying one good thing about our country that is our democracy is growing. We have managed to impeach the first sitting deputy president in Africa. This is historical. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have our problems, but there are some things that we are getting right. There are things that we are getting right, but we are getting them in the most orthodox manner. Maybe the laws should be changed so that you cannot just walk in with an impeachment without investigation, without proper investigation, and impeach deputy president because of his wealth of things that you don't even know and you cannot substantiate. When you are put to task, you say, like Mutuse the lawyer, he's asked, "Were you lying?" Then he says, "Yes, I was lying." So that alone should tell you that this thing was a very, very bogus exercise on the deputy president. So we need to strengthen things in our institutions. Penny, what do you make of this parliament? I have really disgusted to talk about parliament and the Senate.
When Zalendo, when you say Ruto is a thug, that's the thuggery that he did. He did parliament, in the
I
Senate,
told you, yeah.
everything. Huh?
And they had even it's called a gazette notice ready in Senate.
That's the most stupid, because who that the guy who accused the Kashawa, for example, Mutuse, everything he was saying was a lie, was proven to be wrong. How can you impeach somebody like that? How?
And you know, Penny, the sad part about it, you are destroying this old man's career forever.
Yeah.
If ingekuwa ni kazi hiyo anafanya, yani kazi tu ameandikwa kazi job, it means that atarudi nyumbani bila unga na ya watoto wake kwa maisha yake yote. Kwa hizo miaka zote atakuwa huko nje.
Lakini hiyo ndio inaonyesha ya kwamba when you see it, is a thug. Yani huyu Ruto is a complete thug. Na huyu Mutuse, everything that he said, hata mtoto, you don't have to be in a law school, a law student to see that. He was taken down the road and proven everything wrong.
Penny, my take home is this. Yeah.
Okay.
Christianity has got no meaning at all. These are leaders who each and every time they pose as Christian. They don't know. They don't even have a word called forgiveness in their language. Yeah, they don't even have that. And every time they walk into the church, tomorrow Ruto will be in church. Gachagua the same in church. They cannot forgive each other. They don't see each other eye to eye. What is this sin that Rigiji committed? That is the same thing I asked last time about Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto. What is this sin that this Ruto committed to Uhuru that they don't even see eye to eye?
The church is only a place, an organization where a lot of people come and congregate. It's nothing to do with any truth. It has to do anything. Ukiona kama hapa Amerika wale watu wote ambao walipigia Trump kura walikuwa wa kanisa, especially the white in church evangelicals and everything. Na watu ndio wanakuja kama huyu hili, wanakuja huko Kenya, wanafill all stadiums. So the church does not have reality ile ilikuwa nayo. it has gone down to something where it's only people go there to just get together and talk and dress well, and that's it. Hakuna kitu. There's nothing. To some of
Well,
us, we have
I
thought about what you have said for many times. That tumeona ya kwamba the judge is only an organization where people come and they speak. Wanasema wanaenda bigudi, wanaenda wapi? You know, these are the same people. Yeah, you know, you see them everywhere. Ukiwa hapa America, ukiwa nyumbani, everywhere. You know, today mtu yetu ya TD alikuwa anafiri hapa kanisa kubwa sana. He built a very big church. Now where was he found? We did reject. I mean, he did cops. So the judge,
tell me, you've been following this story of Pididi and TDJ,
yeah,
Pididi,
yeah,
and TDJ.
alifukuzwa,
Hmm?
alifukuzwa kanisa hapa Dallas, alifukuzwa kanisa kabisa.
Ah, really?
Yeah, he doesn't preach there. Alifukuzwa.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Uh,
Is that
So
hiyo ni ukweli ama kanisa
no,
yake
no,
iko
hiyo ni kweli, hiyo ni ukweli,
eh?
hiyo ni ukweli. Alifukuzwa kwa hiyo kanisa, and he doesn't go there anymore.
I thought that was his church.
Yes, he was one of the most influential, but alifukuzwa kutoka.
No, Penny. I thought hiyo kanisa ilikuwa ya TDJ. Yani he is the founder of that church.
Alitengeneza hiyo, lakini alikuwa na watu wengi ambao were around him, na hao watu walimfukuza.
So as we speak, TDJ sana kanisa.
No, no. It was maybe sometime in May or June. Ambayo alifukuza hiyo kanisa kabisa.
Wow. That is news. I've been following up that story. I didn't understand. I thought that it was just speculation that the guy was doing those dirty things. The jelly oil, the oil thing that it's called Didi or what? Had in his parties. Those parties, I understand. Those parties, there was no bodyguard who was allowed in those parties, and the celebs came in those parties. Nobody was allowed to come with their bodyguard. So a lot of dirty things were happening in those parties.
Yeah.
So back to the story of Uhuru and Ruto. There was rumors that Ruto wanted to kill Uhuru in a plane that landed in Dubai. Now there is also rumors that Gachagua wanted to topple Ruto's government. You know, there's these rumors that are swinging. But Benny, you have lived many years in Kenyan politics. There is one thing that I have always thought that some of these decisions, you might think it is the president of the Republic of Kenya doing, but there is a bigger force that is making those decisions on behalf of the country. People who tell Ruto, you must do this. Do you think there is that there is somebody else who is above? There's a group of people who are above the president.
He has people around him that are more influential. Now he wanted wakale, kile chili chili, nini. And you have to have advisors, and you are as good as the people who advise you. Now what about advise you?
You know, this is my imagination. It's a wild one. Eh? Because you've never become president. When you become, and there is that secret oath that you take at Uhuru Park in the public. But when you get to the office, you meet these new people who you are told, hey, President, you see this guy, you will take instructions from him. Then you say, okay, I didn't know that. Then you see this one is your immediate financial advisor. You take instructions from him. Whether you have got the best policies for the country, he has the final one and not you. If you don't do that, we will take you out of power. And we are the people who put in power. I have got this wild imagination that I think that Kenya operates like that.
to a large extent, lakini
Hii
au
kitu watu wanaita deep state. Ipo, it
to a
is
la-
there.
mzalendo, to a large extent, ngoja nikwambie, kama wewe unazungumza na Morara, you will be there. Akishinda, you will be there. Now, whatever advice you give him, sasa, when he's president, he has to take that into account, to a large extent. Sio kwamba lazima mufozi nini, no, ni influence ambao wanayo kwake. And huyu nani Ruto, unaona, his aim is to destroy the Kikuyus as you know them, as many people in Africa. Unaona Raila, Moi alikuwa anajaribu, he never succeeded. Lakini huyu with the Andanis and all these other groups he's bringing is because he wants to destroy the Kikuyus. Na watu ambao
He wants to destroy the Kikuyu economically.
Yes.
Wow. People are not looking at this issue on an economic point of view to this community called the Kikuyu. One fact that we must know, in Nairobi, for instance, they own like 70% of the business, 80% of the businesses in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And yes, and even in supplies, they own almost 80% of what is supplied in Kenya. It is that community that owns. In agriculture, the food that is consumed in Nairobi comes from Kiambu and some parts of Kenya, but majorly 80% come from Kiambu. In the export of flowers, the export industry, the community that is dominant, that dominates the industry and the community. Yeah, those are facts. Yeah,
and this guy is doing the best to destroy it, kwa sababu this guy alileta hii saa ingine inaitwa Gachagua, and he was defending these people hands down. Na sasa kudestroy huyu lazima aende kwa huyu Gachagua mumalize, alafu aende kwa huyu mwingine. So hata huyu Kindiki akiwekwa is not even going to last 3 years, atachukua mwingine,
Kindiki does not have the number.
Na nikubaliana na
hata kuna kura ile analeta. Kura gani analeta, ya Wameru ama ni wapi?
Ya Wameru kama 700,000 hiyo tu, na wengine wamemkata. Yani hiyo ndio ulichange ukasema ni tagi. Hapo ni kweli, sio? He's not smart. That's what dumbest motherfucker there is. Excuse the language.
No. Let me try and tell you why Ruto chose Kindiki. You know, Kindiki in Central, it was said that he was the most preferred candidate in Central then, before Gachagua emerged, before the impeachment.
Yes, he was my friend. Mzalendo. Wacha nikwambie, he was voted by about 80% of all the MPs. Wale ambao walivoti kwa Gachagua ni kama Mushomba and somebody, very few. Hapo tumekubaliana. But this is history. Tukienda kwa history ambao huyu ameachia huyu Gachagua time to build himself, he has proved otherwise. He is even uniting the Kikuyus even more, unaona, sahi than before.
United. If there is
united kwake, and they never liked the guy to begin with.
Now the most interesting part, unajua kitu inanikasirika na wao ni moja tu. Let me go just a bit. Now, Kikuyus have flipped this whole narrative. They don't see Ruto as the bigger enemy. They are seeing the bigger enemy is Raila Odinga.
No, the Kikuyus, wacha nikwambie,
they are so afraid of William Ruto. They are seeing that the enemy is Raila Odinga.
No. Wacha nikwambie, the Kikuyus have been solidified to hate Ruto because Ruto shake hands with Raila Odinga. And Raila Odinga, Kenyatta himself called him an animal, not even a human. Unaona? And he was telling them in their language about walikuwa wana understand. Now we change, you have to change the people from left to right, left to right. Na kwa Kikuyu kuambia light in hii wanafuata hiyo. Sio the way the laws yako wako ndugu zako wanaenda na Raila kuambia hii ndio hii, hii ndio hii. No, the Kikuyu see it as it is. And that is what really has made the Kikuyus like Kashawa. Ni Ruto shake hands na Raila. And Raila messes it up. Akikuja anasema Adiadani is a good company. It makes even worse. Unaona? Na wacha niseme huyu dada yangu ametoka Vivian. Vile alikwambia juu ya Onyonka. Onyonka is a wish-wash. Matiang'i is a wish-wash. Those are not the people that we will even approve to be anything in Kenya. No.
What about Wanjigi?
Jimmy Wanjigi has always been wanting to be president. It's a fake. He thinks we owe him something.
No, yeah, he thinks that Kenyans owe him, something.
Yeah, anazungumza, anasema pigia makofi. My friend,
This guy,
you have to have something. You have to say something about watu wanasikia wapige makofi. You know, it's as fake as they come. Hata baba yake alikuwa anawekwa chera na Kenyatta na Moi, ni Maina Wanjigi. So we wonder, was he the same character that you kijana yake? My friend, that guy is a joker.
No, when I said Jimmy was a big joker when he said there's a time he said that he has the sword, he's the custodian of the sword, that sword that is normally given at Nyayo Stadium or Kasarani. He's the one who keeps it in his house. I was like, this guy, some of our brothers believe that Jimmy is the one who's going to give Raila the sword.
No, this guy is always wanting to be the leader of Kenya. And that's a joke. You cannot want to be my leader. Let me elect you. Kwanza. If you want to be a leader of your house, so be it. Go to your house and be a leader there. Like, who is this guy? I'm very glad you asked me that question. Jimmy has always wanted to be the leader, the president of Kenya. Now, Wakikuyu, vile tulisema jana, vile nilikuambia jana, Wakikuyu have always been to be entitled for number 1 or number 2. That's it. Uliona kwa ile show ingine wanafukuzana, sio mchezo, lakini all of them have always come home.
You know me, I am never welcome there. So, because I say the truth. I don't have to hide. I know you from what you say.
No, I go there when BK or Muziana is in charge. Lakini huyo kijana, man, siendi huko. He told me one time that I lied. Why should I lie?
I mean, we don't have time to lie about our politics. We want the best for the country, and that some of us die from places where you don't have the freedom to express yourself, and in a civil manner. You're not even expressing yourself in a vulgar manner. At one point, is that platform you could not criticize anything called Raila Odinga. Criticize Raila Odinga. You are blocked
Yeah.
come back. We are not in that kind of world. That is barbaric. That's why I ask people to come to a place where you have
that guy what you say, watu wanatoroka huko sio mchezo, watu wanagombana. I got them to listen to what they have to say. I have your background most of the time.
sometimes
Unacheka sana.
yeah,
All the
sometimes
Kikuyus
I,
have
I, I
refused.
listen to adults with their psychophancy and talk
Yeah.
about things that are not practical. You know, there are things which are practical in today's world. Saying that you are going to stop the storm state house and eject Ruto and you are in the capital of Washington D.C. Seated there, urging young people to go, and participate in this demonstration. People like us, we have participated at least in demonstration. I can tell you, Penny, me, I've got scars that that are there visible in my body that I participated in a process, and we were never scared to put our bodies up there to protect our leader. Then we were doing that. But once he started veering off the agenda, then you come and look at, hey, wait a minute, this guy is the Democrat, this is what democracy is all about, and is doing the opposite. It is time for you to go out. So when you have principles, you cannot stay in an organization like that, unless you're just there to eat the money or to participate in a process that you don't believe in. Some of us have got I've got the knowledge and the conscience that you're doing the wrong thing. But most people would rather be there. What do you see? And and this is my analysis. When you see people come in a forum and they want to support a particular candidate, they have got their interest now in America ones, and not the interest of the people of Kenya. Like you and me in the and the it's the interest of the people of Kenya that we are looking at. When we supported William Ruto until he got into power, we knew that he had the interest of our people at heart. We knew that this is the president that we want. We knew that he was going to clean up everything that is there. The line of Dingas and what the Urus and the money that was stored, was stashed in the offshore account is probably going to bring them back. But was it the best candidate? He was the only option that we had. He was not the best, but the only option that we had. Yeah.
Yeah. Hapo ni kweli, lakini tukiangalia mbele ndio we can we can really change the future of the country for the better. Yule umesema umezungumza na hiyo kijana, next time you talk to him, I need to talk to him too. Lakini yangu ni kwamba when we elected this huyu nani Ruto, we thought that what he was saying, he knew what he was saying. And I have a friend in North Carolina, and I was apologizing. And he said, no, don't apologize, because what else did you have? You knew who Raila was. And we thought that huyu ametoka kwa ile KANU youth for youth in 92. Ametoka huko, he has grown. You cannot be mzalendo, you cannot be static forever. Huwezi kukaa mahali ulikuwa. You change, you learn new things. Now this guy, when he was talking about bottom-up economics, I thought he knew what he was talking about. Na hakujua ile anazungumza ni nini. My friend, hata nimekuambia sijui mara 10, hii mara 11. Bottom-up economics ndio imetengeneza Europe after Second World War, ndio imetengeneza China. I mean, China is much later. Yeah, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia. You expand the tax of the people and then use the taxes to build the country. You don't borrow. We saw Kibaki do this exactly. Sasa wengine tulikuwa tunafikiria this guy is going to back what Kibaki did and he will really develop our country. And he never did. Ndio hiyo tunataka kuambia Borara akiingia hapo, he doesn't have to borrow any money from anybody. Use the money in Kenya to develop Kenya. Na hiyo ndio itaendelea. Na huyu Ruto, when he was saying that, we thought he knew what he was talking about. It was in KY 92. The tag that they were doing back then, it was baya. It was terrible. It was evil. Unaona? And those are the people. Ruto was in a group ya ile watu walikuwa naniambia Air Force ambao walikuwa nguo zako zikaletwa. Ruto was in that group. And we thought that he had changed. He never changed. He's a thug. Unaona?
No, Ruto in the 1982 coup, in the 1982 Ruto was not there. He was still in. He should have been in high school then. Ruto was not in the 82 coup. The 82 coup were mentioned. Those Luos who were killed by Moi, and the Kalenjin was spared, and the Kikuyu school was spared by.
When did Ruto come? When did Ruto come to the government?
Ruto came to the government sometimes in the 90s.
No.
Yeah.
No, my friend. KY 82.
KY 92, not 82.
82.
KYK 92, not KYK 82.
Wewe angalia hiyo nitakushinda. I will not bet you. It was 82.
Let me invite Dave as he gives his opening remarks on the impeachment and the moral attack and what he thinks about the future of this country. Dave, karibu. Dave, unmute your mic. Or Dave is busy. When you get time, you can come in, Dave, and give your opening remarks.
Hiyo utaniambia peke yako. It was there in 82. Sio 92.
I'm telling you, Benny Nyagaka, you can put some dollars. You can put some dollars. Yeah? You can put some dollars.
Wewe rafiki yako sitaki kuchukua pesa yako. Wote nikuambie in 92 ndio Matiba alikuja kutoka London. Na when Matiba came, Ruto, mzee nani Moi aliacha watu wakaacha mabasi yote Nairobi wenda kumchukua kwa airport huko JKIA. So that was budget 82 when sisi tulikuwa tunachapwa na hiyo watu. Sasa unaniambia kitu that I know in and out. It was 82, not 92. 92 ni jana. It was KY 92.
YK 82,
Sio 92.
YK
82.
I can tell
hiyo
you.
ndio nilikuwa, wacha nikwambie my friend why I say that. Nilikuwa naenda kwa market huko nyumbani, ninatoka America nini. These guys will approach you with red shirts. And they would try to speak to you in English. Alafu wazungumza ile English, hawataki wakupiga. Na wapeleka kwa mbogani, tunakunywa chai na kijisi peke yake. Na mzee wangu akakuja kuniambia ati, hey, wewe unajua hii watu? Naambia kwa nini? Ati wewe uliwachukua hivi. Hey, nilicheka sana. It was KY 82, not 92.
Anyway, Penny, nitakwambia mambo ya YK na 82. Hiyo unasema YK 82 vizuri sana, but this is where sometimes ndio nakwambia unanipendaga because I give you the right information. Kienda kusema hiyo mali ingine, ideally what had happened in 1982, after the coup is when YK 82 was formed. After the coup, it was not formed before the coup. It was formed after the coup. So you would have had things like Bongo, which was not there, yeah. So and Ruto was not there in the 82 coup. He was a very young man. If you look at when Ruto joined parliament, he joined parliament in the 90s. He never joined parliament in the 80s. In the 80s, he was still in in the 80s, he was still in for high school, not even in campus, in high school. How old is Ruto? Ruto only is 50 what? Ruto is 58 or 56, 58 thereabout. Do you know Ruto's age? You're telling? Ruto is a young man.
My friend, you will tell me, but if you rewrite that history, nitashangaa sana. You have to rewrite the history.
How many things have I told you that you are wrong? Hapa kwa hii station, and I tell you that hapo penny ilikuwa hivi na hivi. Anyway, hapa is where you find the map here in Africa.
They were a blessing to President Moi because they were now courageous, brave to say Kanuju.
Jirongo, in terms of leadership, in terms of making snap decisions, that was the guy.
There was nothing peculiar about Sam Nyamweya. It is only that he was a shrewd person.
Ruto was a very straight person, very background person, until maybe towards the end of YK that he started coming up.
More than 2 decades later, YK92 remains a thrilling topic, especially for Kenyans old enough to remember the once famous political initials.
Sena mbili nilikuwa ndio nimemaliza tu shule na kukawa na kitu ambayo ilikuwa inaitwa YK92.
Ni kundi ambalo lilikuja kumaliza uchumi wa Kenya. Nakumbuka wakati huo uchumi wa Kenya ulikuja ukaanguka.
Because pesa zilikuwa zinatengenezwa kiholela. Hiyo ndio wakati tulikuwa na Jirongo. Ile note inaitwa 500 ambayo Jirongo alikuwa anaenda anatengeneza, anakuja anagawa pesa.
Vijana wanaenda huko scrambling for money. But hiyo scrambling for money walitumia kama ati sasa vijana tuko na sisi, sasa kura tumepata mingi. It was also a rigging strategy.
Ni campaign ambayo ilitumia vijana kwa njia mbaya.
So it is a study case that people should pay attention to, but not to replicate.
1992 was a consequential year for Kenya. An economy in turmoil, runaway corruption, and a poisoned political climate characterized by assassinations and regular public protests. A resurgent opposition bolstered by brave clergymen and a militant civil society had just managed to push for the reintroduction of multi-party democracy.
Tawala Kenya, tawala. Tawala Kenya, tawala.
The ruling party KANU and its leader, the then President Daniel Arap Moi, was besieged with the prospect of losing the general election looking real by the day. It was against this backdrop that a group of youthful associates met over a drink and an idea was born. It was on the 5th of January 1992 that 5 friends met at Nairobi's Boulevard Hotel for a drink. In attendance, Fred Kiptanui, Sami Kogo, Victor Kebenei, Joe Mwangale and Joakim Kung, a close confidant of President Moi's son, Gideon Moi. The drink would later turn out the political equivalent of a life-saving drip. On December 3rd, 1991, a month to this meeting, President Moi had transformed the political scene by consenting to a repeal of Section 2A of the Constitution, opening the space for creation of alternative political parties.
Kitu mimi nauliza nyinyi leo, ili tuone hawa walio katika siasa, wale walio watumishi wa serikali, sisi tuseme kwamba tufungue, tuondoe ile section ya katiba ya Kenya ya 2A.
Multi-party was back, and for the first time since independence, KANU was facing a real battle for survival.
His was also only just one vote. He needed all the votes, which now were open to taking by other parties. So now the remaining party, which was still in power, had to pull itself together and brave for the coming competition.
Siasa ni mashindano. Kwa hivyo ilikuwa mashindano kiasi kukubalia iingie.
The first opposition party, the Forum for Restoration of Democracy, FORD, was riding high on the wave of change. President Moi's trusted friends started to forsake him. One by one, they left. But it was the resignation of Mwai Kibaki, the then Minister for Health, on Christmas Day in 1991 that sent shockwaves across the country.
I have resigned from the government, and that a detailed statement will be issued tomorrow.
He was to be joined by then powerful politicians, mainly from the central Kenya region, to form the Democratic Party, DP.
Now, forward!
But it was FORD that provided the real challenge. It attracted hundreds of thousands of supporters, and for a while it looked set to wrest power from Moi. These emerging developments dominated discussions among the five friends. KANU was staring at defeat, and the position of these five young men, most of them sons of political figures in the society, was at stake. They agreed to an idea: a youth league that will champion KANU's re-election, a replica of UK's Labour Party youth movement. They named the movement KANU National Youth Congress.
You know, they knew of one party, one government, one nation. For them, the president was their president. The party was their government.
That afternoon, 32-year-old Cyrus Jirongo, who was a mutual friend, was proposed to lead the new movement.
The lobby group I led in 92 was just 23 young men, business people. One thing is, for you to qualify, you must have your own money. It was not a begging team. There are people who were in business. We were not a huge team as people would want to imagine. We were only 23 of us.
KANU was in problems and the opposition was getting stronger. And, they needed an organization of young people like us to make sure that we help the party.
Word about the new outfit spread quickly, and in the meeting that followed, sons of top political leaders were in attendance. They included President Moi's children, Gideon, Jonathan and June, as well as Kiprono Kitoni, their cousin and son of then Maendeleo ya Wanawake chairlady, Zipporah Kitoni. It was at this meeting that YK92 was born.
As young people and persons from families that were in KANU, what we used to call traditionally KANU communities, said, no, we can't let Mzee be embarrassed like this.
I joined YK92 by virtue of I was a personal assistant to P Ward. And when we heard that there was meetings here and there, then I requested that maybe I can join them. And that is when I approached Jirongo, and he told me, come and if they put for me a position.
At the time, I was teaching. I was a lecturer in Utalii College. And I was given a call by a friend who was at the secretariat. He told me, Patrick, it is important that you come, we meet, and there is a movement that we are coming up with. So I went to the office at KICC, and I found a guy called Olympio Luceno, who works in Sudan, in Dubai currently. And there was also another young man called William Ruto, who happens to be our deputy president today. They welcomed me, and they told me they are aware that I was a lecturer in Utalii, and they told me they had set up structures to group support. So I was identified as someone who could be in that team to consolidate support from tertiary institutions.
At this time, the fabric that held the opposition together had started to tear.
Na hiyo ndio chitaka letu.
Apart from DP eating into the opposition bloc, Ford, the once indomitable party that shook the nation, split into two. Ford Kenya, led by Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, and Ford Asili, led by Kenneth Matiba.
All right, Morara, Penny Nyagaka, you lost your bet. Dave,
I lost.
Yeah. So I always remind you of this.
I was in Kenya when Nani came from London, you can Matiba. So I didn't realize it was after that they formed the K192.
Yeah,
I used to come home every year. I was home.
Yeah,
Everyone.
K1 was very recent. That brought us back to the memory lane of where we came from in politics.
Oh yeah.
I wish I would have played through and through. Let me invite Dave. Dave, karibu sana Afrika. If you can unmute.
Asante sana.
Yeah, karibu sana Afrika. We are talking about the impeachment of the DP and of course the attack on Morara last evening by goons hired by the governor. What is your take on the impeachment, and what is the way forward for the people of Kenya? Do you see some future in Morara's politics as as we move forward to salvage our country?
Oh, yeah. The word impossible is just for the dead. I mean, he has a great potential, and I mean, I'm just from a meeting with him, and he's a brilliant young man, and yeah, he has a future if he consolidate whatever he's supposed to consolidate all together and put them together. Then why not? I mean, right now the country is hungry for servant leadership, and I mean that is what has been lacking for long. So I mean, if you can provide people with alternative, then why not? I mean, and everything favors him. I mean, like the next big thing in Kenyan election is the generational block, which currently is like the biggest voter that we expect in 2027 is the younger generation. So it is more of an intergenerational competition. 2027 is like a intergenerational like contest, and if he capitalizes on that, if he capitalizes on his peers and his generation, then everybody's gonna be shocked except myself because I belong to that generation. Yeah, and then for today, I mean, it was something unfortunate that happened, but again, I think he just have to do a lot and it is time for him now to go back to that small room. In leadership, it is known as the leadership sanctuary. Everybody has his own sanctuary where, I mean, when things are tough, like you go back and reflect. And I think it's time for him, like to go back and sit down. And it seems like there are a lot of things that he doesn't just find them right, or it doesn't just do them right. And also when it comes to security, and security is not just about the events or the occurrence of that moment, but I mean, you have to look at it from a broader perspective. Because for everything to happen, which means there's something that builds up to it to occur. So I mean, those are the things he needs to look at. I mean, how did I get myself here? If he can find how he got himself in those situations, then I believe he has the best solution in regards to his own security. Because from where I understand, like from the look of things, like he wants to run in isolation, and whenever you are isolated, I mean, it's easy for anybody who is after you to get you. Hmm?
If you got it right. You got it so right.
There's a saying. There's a saying that says that, I mean, the fastest lion must go after the slowest antelope, and the slowest antelope must run against the fastest lion in the jungle to survive. So it's more or less the same thing. Whenever you are in isolation, I mean, you just position yourself right for those punches. And I don't think, in my personal opinion, I mean, I hold it to myself and I take responsibility of it. I think right now, I mean, he emerged to, I would say, like, he emerged to, okay, not for a lack of better word, he emerged too early. Like, he took that throne too early that, I mean, he cannot see it from a broader perspective that he needs other people. Something he thinks other people needs him. That is what he thinks. But he needs other people for him to survive with what he's doing. So, I mean, it's just my opinion. I might be wrong.
Yeah. And Dave, that is a good opinion. He needs other people who are veterans. You see, you put it so clearly. When you have a herd of maybe wildebeest running or migrating, one of them will move away from the herd, and that is where the lion will strike or the leopard will follow the one that is just moving alone, running somewhere aimlessly, maybe running for their life. That is an easy target. But when you are in a group, then you don't know who to target. You don't know whether to target Eric Omondi. You don't know whether to target Okiya Mtata, whether to target Morara, because these guys are talking in one voice. So it is easier for him to navigate his politics. But another point that you brought in the show is that he could have started this thing too early. Because the momentum might fizzle out at some point. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, actually, whatever he's doing is right. What I'm saying is that, like, the way, like, he has embraced himself, like, you see how he behaves and how he does his things is like, he's the guy, apart from Ruto, is the next person in charge. And you see, whenever you position yourself that way, then everybody else who has maybe a better idea or who might be even a better leader than you shy away, because already you have positioned yourself like at the throne. Ushachukua. Ushachukua. So everybody,
nomination and Dave, you'll be on the ballot. Yes.
So anybody with similar interest, without looking at the cons and the pros, I mean, he will be like, "Oh, huyo mtu ashaenda nayo, so I better find alternatives." So now that's the problem, and I mean, there's just a lot of things that needs to be worked on. But I'm opportunistic. I'm positive that maybe you're gonna listen and start seeing it from a broader perspective, from where some of us see it from, because we have been in this space for some time and we know how it works. And I mean, whatever he's doing right now, I can tell you from where I sit, it is not sustainable even for 1 year. It is not even sustainable beyond 1 year. And I mean, in the current world and era, more so in the space of whatever is doing, collaborations and partnerships are what define, I mean, the success or failure of something. And I mean, as a leader, I mean, it's your personal responsibility to cultivate those relationships. You cannot wait for people to come to you. I mean, you want to lead. So if you want to lead, you must lead. I mean, you must take responsibility
you look for the people. You look for the people you want.
Yeah, and take the initiative to look for people. That is leadership. If you are waiting for people like to come to you, that is followership. I mean, they're two different things with just a small con in between. But yeah, I mean, he has a great potential.
I think for me, I think he's young and he needs a lot of mentorship. This thing is like might get into his head as a leader, but there is a potential in him. And apart from a few problems here and there, which can be rectified, and we put it very, very clearly that he needs to listen. Listen, because most of the people who are in that movement are knowledgeable, I believe, very, very knowledgeable. People who have been in politics, they know some of the terrains in politics, how it works, what works for you in a certain area. For instance, when you go to a place like Narok, you've done your first story, you've seen that the crowds are getting agitated and all that. In this era of technology, that is a site that your security team should tell you, talk out as fast as you can. You don't go to the next stop. So your next stop should be somewhere in my when you are out of that county completely. You've done your story, you've done good. Toka, just leave. Time to popularize yourself kutoka kwa rufu ya magari. That one is gone. You need now to strategize, put measures that work for your team, so that when you are going for the kill, you have got structures that are working. But without structure and you're moving haphazardly, then that will be a problem. It will not be sustainable as you put it. But again, when I put that question up, like you need to work with other players, Okiem Tata, Eric Omondi, who else? Those are the few that I see. And there's one who is coming up very, very well. Netabea is coming up so well. Babu Owino, although he has got some of his undoing, is also away from now the political class and trying to associate itself with the Gen Z. These are leaders who are already coming with a political backing that you don't have. So you need that political backing so that you add with whatever little you have or the numbers that you have so that you have a stronger movement moving forward. But again, we want a democratic process. When you talk about corruption, fairness, and transparency, the party ought to, at some point, have elections, nominate their candidate, as that is the process in a democratic society. Or what do you think, Mr. David?
Oh yes, sir. And then no, I mean, right now, I mean, it's not even the right time to make choice of those who you want to work with and those you don't want. Because again, for somebody to emerge, by the virtue that I mean, the name of somebody is outside there, which means in the political space, there's something is offering, be it those who are currently serving, those who are aspiring, or the former people. So I mean, as a leader, when you are constituting your team, because I believe that is what Morara should be doing now, if he's not doing it or whatever he's doing, I mean, you look for the best. And the only way to look for the best is to listen. I mean, you have to listen to people. you should never be choosy on who you listen to. You listen to people is when you choose what you want to take in and what you want to dispose. So right now is the time for him he should have those meetings. I mean, be it current leaders who he thinks like ask something just to listen to them. What is their perspective? Is it in line with this perspective? And then now, when he's making that decision of who to work with and who not to work with, he can say, okay, I listened to this guy, and for him, this and this is what he offers, but for us, this and this is what we pursue. So this is our point of divergence, and it cannot just realign. That makes sense. But I mean, riding on prejudice and assumptions is not gonna work. I mean, for me, for the little time I've been around, and I mean, for the little knowledge I have, I know it won't work. I mean,
Yeah,
because you
because
need at
these
the
are
end of the
things,
day, yeah.
these are things that have been tested. Yeah.
Because what they say, aba na aba ujaza kibaba. I mean, his little knowledge, my little knowledge, your little knowledge, all together, you realize at the end of the day, actually, when you talk and interact with people, sometimes you may have an idea you think that is the best idea, but the more you interact with people, the more you shape it. It can turn out to be something way different from what you envisioned at initiation. But that one can only happen when you engage with other people. You cannot like say, okay, this and this, because there's always room for improvement for everything in this world. I mean, there's nothing that has ever been built that is fixed for destiny. There's always like a room for adjustment and improvement. That's why even phones, we have iPhone 16 next year. We're expecting 17. Samsung S25, we are expecting S26. ChatGDP, we have ChatGDP 4. We are expecting 5. Everything in this world, there's always room for improvement, and you cannot just fix your mind on something from foundation. I mean, hata ghorofa inabomolewa inajengwa kwenda juu tena.
You know, you know why I like you. You put this thing in the simplest way for somebody to understand, in a very simple language. That hata ghorofa, unajua ghorofa inaanza na foundation, inaenda layer ya pili hivyo hivyo, ikienda mbele ndio inakuwa ghorofa. But huwezi anza kusema umejenga foundation peke yako ukasema ati sasa niko na ghorofa. Yeah. And even hiyo nyumba, it needs everybody. It needs
sorry. No.
Yeah.
No, sijatoka. Somebody was just calling me like normal call, and then it interfered with my meeting.
Yeah. So unaona, what you are saying is that, and I've always said that there is always something somebody can offer. People you meet, there is something that you don't have that they can offer. And that is the reality of the world. There is always, in some place, somebody will offer you something that you don't have. And that brings to the point that you need.
It is just your responsibility, like to define and find that thing that somebody can offer that can be beneficial to you.
Very, 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 very true. We wish Morara the best, even when there are teething problems of insecurity. Some of it, he needs to get a team to advise him on where to go. You don't publicize where you are going, and yet you are a target of government. You've already seen it, a target of hooliganism. And your popularity does not mean that Morara, you can't say that he can walk in Madare slums or Kibera slums comfortably and say nitatembea hapa na nitoke. Right now you are a target. There are people who don't like what you're doing, especially in areas where he has cited corruption, or when they see him, they see like, oh, this is huyu ndio anakuja kutumulika, wanasema wanakuja kutumulika, wacha tumfukuze. So he needs to be very, very careful. He needs not even to appear in those cameras. Tunaona ametoka kwa rooftop ya gari anaongea. Akishamaliza sini yake ya Vampire Diaries, hiyo imeisha, enda mali ingine. Don't stop in centers greeting people. Wachana nayo. Just run, Murife, run. Yeah, that is the only way you can survive in the politics of today. But Dave, looking at, I don't know whether you've been in Kenya lately. For me, it would be an unfair question to ask you if you have not been in Kenya very recently, because I realize that most people contributing to Morara, they have not been, a majority of them have not been in Kenya, but they have got the know-how of how things are done in a modern society. But they don't look at the country, that idea maybe will not resonate very well with the people. Have you been in the political scene in Kenya in recent time?
Yeah, Kenya. I'm always up there every now and then.
Oh, then you at least you are conversant with the political scenario. Now there is the issue of the Gen Zs. There's the Anifa group, the Boniface Mwangi and Anifa group. The Boniface Mwangi and Anifa, they work together, and Eric Omondi, and now Morara. And there was that guy called Kasamuel, who was almost dismissed immediately when he was seen with Raila, already dismissed completely. How do we, as people who are agitating for change, do we bring these heads together? I think that is the bigger assignment that I have personally, to try and convince Eric Omondi that you people need to work together if you are serious about getting into power. What do you think?
You know, funny enough, I don't know, but from how I understand it, among all those who we have mentioned, to the contrary to my understanding, it is only Morara who doesn't have Gen Z following. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
But he has a national recognition. He doesn't have a Gen Z following, but he has a national recognition.
Oh, Ana Gen Z following, Kabisa.
Because I told people that, I mean, you see, Gen Zs that's our old generation, and for you to understand them, I mean, you have to understand how they operate. Morala doesn't go to their events. He doesn't participate in their activity. With them, that is somebody who is none of them. Actually, they recognize okay is their president. Unfortunately, people doesn't know.
Yeah, I said it.
But the silent, but the silent president of Gen Z's movement is Okiya Mtata, and all those people you have mentioned, there's a point of convergence for all of them. Do you know? I mean, they have the same people, they have the same group following. As much as they're pursuing individual different agenda, but they know at what point do I put my agenda aside, and now we come together for this. They know. I don't know. Probably they're conscious or they have good advisors. Because you realize you'll find Boniface Mwangi working together with Anifa.
You know, Dave, this evening you've killed my morale. You've just killed it completely.
No,
I personally,
I've not said I'm right. I've just said
no. It is something that I've been trying to
avoid.
figure out. Yeah, to avoid. You know the good thing or the bad thing about you is that you bring the real conversation on the table. This is what it is. You know, this is what we need to be talking about. Do you have this group of people on your side? And what are you doing wrong that they feel that you are not part of them? That is the conversation.
You see, the problem is our guy. He thinks that automatically once he's in a rush to position himself at the top level, and then he assumes that once he's up there, then everybody will be running to him. But he has not taken time to associate himself with his peers. You know, and understand what kind of people is he dealing with. What are their problems? I mean, my generation, they are not interested in roads. Who is interested in roads? My generation, nobody's interested in, I don't know, in stadium. They don't care.
Wow.
Trust you me.
Wow.
Trust you me.
Wow. Penny should
You-
listen to this. Oh my God.
You tell
know,
me.
huh?
No, you tell me. You tell me. You are in media. Share me a video when the youth demonstrated because of bad roads. Share me a video. Look for it in internet. When the youth demonstrated because of bad roads, or because of maybe there is no medication in our stores, or maybe
Okay, Dave. What are the issues that your generation resonate with? What are the issues that they resonate with that Morara is not bringing on the table?
that is a conversation for another time. It will be too much information for a night.
No.
But
know.
I mean, I can give. I mean, is a topic is an open topic for research. I mean, people can go through it, and then we can have a conversation about it.
Okay, now you. Okay, guys, this is open mic. We are almost winding the show up, and you brought in a very interesting perspective that Gen Zs do not resonate with Morara, and the reason is he is never seen in their events, and he doesn't recognize their events, and he doesn't participate in them. Penny, did you know that?
About what?
That Gen Zs do not support necessarily Morara's agenda.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All of the people that you see are the Gen Z that are following him, are the younger generation. So, what is he talking about?
No, he explained it very, very clear, very, very nicely, and in a straightforward manner. Now, Dave, please, you said it here that Gen Zs resonate very well with their de facto leader is Okiya Mtata. Okiya Mtata is the president of Gen Zs. Penny Nyagaka, did you know that?
No, Benny, I mean, Okiya Mtata is one of the leaders, yes, in as far as Gen Z is concerned, yes. I agree.
And between Okiya Mtata, this is a question to you. Between Okiya Mtata and Morara, who would the people of Kenya vote for today?
I think Morara, because he has really exposed to what ills are in the society. Yes, Okiya Mtata points out whatever the legislative agendas are that are negative, that are being espoused by Rutos and Kenyatas and all these other people. And Okiya Mtata has been there for a while. But Morara will win because he has the ear of everybody, the young, the old, everybody. And that is exposing the tragedy that is the Kenyan development agenda that is already there.
Dave, do you agree with Penny Nyagaka's position?
No, I don't have to agree with it. Everybody has his own observation. I mean, I'm not right, but that is just my understanding. You see, first of all, you must understand. I'll share to you some notes when it comes to like studying generation and their characteristics. And tell me, Morara is always in the market. Can you look at those videos? And then you tell me how many Gen Zs are always there in his meetings. You can do a head count and you tell me how many Gen Zs are always there in his meeting. So, one thing, you remember Gen Zs are the first people to call president online to tell them if he wants to meet them, he will find them online. And he came where they are. And what is the conversation when you look at Gen Zs in regards to Morara? Because I mean, when you are talking of Gen Zs, not all of them are majority. 99% of them are online, but there are those who speak for them. That one you look for Boniface Mwangi, you look for Anifa, you look for there's Rogers, Kip Kembei, there's Ali Nur. They follow Miguna so much. I mean, there are a couple of people who they follow so much, and what do they say about Morara?
You know, I was in when the demonstrations were going on. Of course, I was in the X spaces. One of them is hosted by a very good friend of mine from Canada. Is Hilary Gondi is one of the moderators here in Africa. We got lost in those X spaces, so Hilary used to brief me on what is happening on the spaces, and I jumped in many of them to listen to these young people and what the issues that they are bringing forward. I mean, they were concerned about the society and how they want things to work in society, but I never did I see Morara in those places. That is true. That is true. But many times I saw Nani Tony Gashoka jumping in. I saw Kim Tata jumping in to the conversation. I saw Maguna coming into the conversation. I even saw Matakarua and Peter Kenneth coming in the conversation of Gen Z. So this was a very big movement, Penny.
Yes.
I'm saying this was a very, very big movement, and this is something that we are looking forward for 2027. But my fear is that ni kama wametawanyika, yani they are scattered everywhere. Ama mnaonaje? Mimi naona ni kama serikali managed to suppress those voices. The people who really mattered in front are no longer there.
Let me tell you something about Gen Zs. Now that I belong to that generation, you know, you see, for them, for you to be part of them, you must be part of their activities. That's why you will realize, even if there's a Twitter space, even at 1 a.m., Okia Mtata will get into it. Tomorrow there's a function in Uhuru Park. See the people who will attend that meeting. Miguna is on his way from Toronto to attend that meeting. You see, for them, I mean, stadium doesn't matter for them because at the end of the day, they're not footballers. The road doesn't matter to them because at the end of the day, they don't have cows where they transport. It might be rude for those who are in this space, but I mean, that's the reality. I mean, for us, there are things that matters to your generation that for us, I mean, is nothing. I mean, and I can give you a background to it, and background now that all of us are in states. Do you know why right now there's a lot of struggles in terms of intergenerational wealth transfer between the generation of boomers and baby boomers and the current holders of wealth? I mean, their time to exit has come for the stage, but they never took time to groom the Gen Zs into their business, who are their children. And then now, when it is their time for exit, now they want to transfer it. They realize that, I mean, their generation had moved to something else. Maybe you have a company that is in trucking, but your son is like, I don't want to be a truck.
You nailed it.
I don't want to manage truck. I want to be in Florida. I want to be
a cybersecurity guy.
A cybersecurity guy. So I mean, so when you are talking about trucking and you are like, oh, I have 500 fleets of trucks on the way, is like, who is ready to listen to that nonsense? 500 too? And I only have to look at my computer and attend to everything I want with my freedom. This generation is a generation that, I mean, they sacrifice everything else for their freedom. And freedom is their free time and is their time to associate with their peers and their friends. That's why the generation where you can employ one, and if you cannot employ his friend, he's gonna resign. So both of them can be jobless because he believes he can only work with his friend, nobody else.
Penny Agaka, hii ni generation mbaya bana. These guys can umesikia hiyo?
Hapana.
These are
We have to hang in there. We have to hang in there. Vile huyu mheshimiwa anasema there's nothing wrong. Vile alisema that's his opinion na kila mtu ana opinion yake. Hiyo ni mzuri. Tuendelee hivyo mpaka tufike.
You know what Dave is saying is the reality of life. I have a son who is 22 years old. We are struggling to understand what I'm doing. All right? And I am struggling to, like, I know the father is like the bow and the son is the arrow. You shoot to the direction you want. Now, this arrow, who is my son, I cannot shoot to the direction that I want. He wants to shoot to his own direction. And that's what Dave is telling us here. And it is this kind of information, you only get it here on Africa. This is something that is so unique. Dave, you need a whole program on Africa to just educate people on how young people think and the older generation trying to steer them to a direction that they don't want. I have seen clips going on in the media that a young person has graduated, then they take the graduation slip to their parents and tell them, hey, hii ndio degree yako shika. Ndio hii ulikuwa unataka tu nimemaliza ndio hii speaker sasa uende. Sasa hii ndio nataka kufanya ile kitu nataka kufanya kwa maisha yangu, but this one I was doing it for you because you really wanted me to do it. Yeah?
Wacha niseme ya kwamba huyu mheshimiwa alisema mzuri sana. He said, look at the crowds nani anayo Morara. Look at who are the Gen Zs. My friend, when we look at those crowds, some of us don't look at the peak, the Gen Zs. We look at the crowds that are full, that are a lot of people, that those people are supporting this guy regardless of who he is, where he come from, whatever. Na ukiona kama leo uko Narok, akienda
huko in Kenyan politics, and I don't know if I've been abroad for the longest. There's something they don't know that. I mean, the crowd is constant. If you go to Mathare today, the same crowd that your opponent is going to get is the same crowd that is going to cheer you. I mean, even the same crowd that cheered Morara in Narok, if Ruto goes there today, are the same people are going to cheer them. So how do you determine who in the crowd that follows Morara and who is in the crowd that follows President Ruto?
Thank you. That will only tell during the elections. Hiyo nasema is a very detailed argument, and it is very, very true. And the only answer we can get is when we vote. When do we vote and who gets it? Ile crowd ambayo iko ni unemployed. Ukienda mahali popote, Morara watajaa, Ruto watajaa, anybody that tells them what they want to hear. Hapo mheshimiwa, I agree with you 100%. Lakini the only difference ni kwamba who votes. When they vote, ndio tutaona nani atakuwa mbele, nani atakuwa mwisho, nani atakuwa hapa. That's the only difference. But the crowds are there. So when you say that where I disagree with you is when you say that how many GNC were there, what were there. We don't look at that. We look at how many people are coming. Na vile umesema ya mwisho, if Ruto goes there tomorrow, the same people will come and they will be even more. Unaona? Hapo ninakubali. Lakini kusema ati GNC hawaendi huko nini, that is neither here or there. Lakini we know that the only difference will be the election day. Na vile huyu Morara amesema kwa pati yake, kwa pati yengine ambayo yote ataingia, atauliza kura kama ule mwingine, kama ni Ukio Mtata, kama ni nani, and they will be voted for, na huyu ndiye atakuwa leader ya hiyo party. Thank you.
Awesome is saying in the comment section that Gen Z is hyped up so much. This is just nonsense. Of course, these guys brought down the constitutional bill, and each and every article was deleted. The first in the history of the world, a constitution, a finance bill deleted by parliament. That is not a generation to joke with. A generation that tells the president to come on board. Kuja hapa ndio utatupata. Na president anaingia express for the first time. Na ana plead now. Wanamwambia futa cabinet yako yote. Na president anafuta. Not even Raila Odinga with this mass movement could achieve that. But these guys achieved that. So wapatie tu credit mali due. I mean, give them their flowers while they're still around. They achieved something that most of us were not able to achieve in a long, long time. And their issues were real. The issues that the NGs were raising are the issues that affect them directly and the people of Kenya. So, I mean, I always say that I give them credit for whatever they did. My fear is that will they be together come 2027? That is the greatest fear. And how are they structured in the 47 counties? How are they making sure that their numbers are intact by 2027, so that they occupy all the county houses and they occupy parliament, even if they are not going to get power, but they are going to get the majority of seats in parliament. That is, Dave, that is my greatest fear. If you have an answer for that this evening, then I can go home and relax and tell you that Gen Zs in 2027, there will be 10 million of them who are ready to vote in 10 million. And remember also that the rigging of election has already begun. So they need to work very, very fast. Dave, what's your take on that?
I mean, they know. You see, with them, they know what is right for them, and you can see online how anybody who associates with themselves and go against whatever they think is right for them. There's a term they use that they dismiss him, they disown him immediately. Look at Caswell. I mean, 3 weeks ago, Caswell was among the big names. Right now, who listens to Caswell? Nobody. Why?
After I went to meet Raila, that was the end of it.
My friend, you don't have to be a GNC to see that Kashmir was a fake to begin with.
No,
I mean, you wouldn't. I wouldn't have said is a fake in the first instances. What I thought that probably had got mental issues. That is what came into my mind. I didn't think it was fake, but I thought that he has got some mental issues that he's dealing with. That is what the first thing that that clicked. If you wanted to say something.
Look at if you, I would give people a case study of. He's not really a Gen Z, but I mean, he is at the helm of the leadership of Gen Z in terms of following. Look at Boniface Mwangi and how consistent he is on whatever he believes is pursuing that resonates with the Gen Zs. And I mean, I told you that one thing that defines this generation is that, I mean, nobody thinks for himself. They think as a team. And I mean, that is going to be the biggest hassle to beat in the 2027 election, because they'll wake up one day and they say, okay, Mtata is our presidential candidate. You can say whatever you want, but once 100, 1,000 will endorse, then to 10,000, to 100,000, to 1 million, to 10 million. And they know how to mobilize themselves. tell me who was paying them. They know how to mobilize themselves because they know themselves. You know, it's like the olden days Kamkunjis. That is Mujikumi. They have those of their Mujikumi where they gather themselves and they know how to mobilize themselves. So, I mean, people, you know, it's a unique thing that has never been in our political space, and everybody has their opinion of them, and it's a unique thing that nobody understands because it has never been there. But I mean, they're going to shape how politics is going forward, and they're going to surprise people. Kama finance bill ndio waliangusha, sasa kura yao wataiba, and they know.
My friend, the only problem. Hello, Mzalendo, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah, the only difference that this generation Z and Nayo, and you keep espousing it, is they don't have any leadership, they don't have this, they don't have that. That is even as irrelevant as it can be, because some of us have been around for a long time. Tumeangalia revolution isikikuja na sikitoka. The last revolution in the Iranian revolution, about the students kama Gen Z ya Kenya engineered. Now guess what? They had to get a leader. Now walipata mzee Ayatollah from Germany, I mean from France, akaja kuwa leader yao. And this Gen Z unasema ya Kenya, and it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that, is as fake as they come, because you have to have a leader somewhere. Unaona? If you don't have a leader, then you are nobody. How can you make a successful idea or an issue na hakuna leader? That's even bad. That's sad. Ya kwamba you are espousing hii generation Z, haina tribe, haina leader, haina nini. This is not a group to be followed. It can't be anything other than, I don't want to use any negative words. Lakini it can't work in Kenyan or in anywhere in the world for that matter. Vile nilisema, we followed the Iranian Revolution. A lot of those guys were my college mates. Walienda nyumbani, wakatupa huyu Shah and Bali. But guess what? They had to get a leader. They were leaders at that time. They were leaders. They had to get a leader. Guess what? The Iranian revolution in vile ilikuja, you can see what Iran is doing up to right now. Ni watu ile ya Catholic, Islamic, whatever, ndio leader yao mpaka sasa hivi. And that happened in 1979. Mzalendo nilishinda ile ingine sana. Ilikuwa 92.
Dave ndio ananifurahisha hapa. Dave, can you say something? I mean, you really surprised me with how you articulate your issues and what is going on with the Gen Z movement. Some of these things I didn't look at them until you mentioned them. That these are generations that thinks in a different way. The things that we think are important to us, they're not important to them. Roads. What the hell do you mean that roads are not important to Gen Z? Barabara steers the economy. That is obvious. Infrastructure is something that is so important to that generation that they need.
You see, there's something that Nyagaka ignored. I told him that these are people that when the right time comes, they decide who to follow, and they'll mobilize themselves to follow it. Right now, it's too early for them to do that, and I wouldn't even if they would add a leader personally, I would disagree with it, because I mean that is an agent of chaos, and unajua hata kitambo, like I don't know about, I read the history a lot, and in my tribe where I come from, there was this thing, cattle rustling, but you had to, mmejua yule mwenye atawalead, lakini hamwezi sema mapema that hii team huyu ndiye anaenda nao for cattle rustling. wakati ikifika ndio unasema ndio huyo, enda na timu yako. And ukisoma, there's a book I love so much. There's a book I love so much. I can refer you to it, and then you can read like the characteristics of this generation, all the way from creators, generators, all the way from the early generation, all the way to their Gen Alphas, and you'll get to understand like this is a new generation. You see, they talked, and there's a generation of their generation that there are things they believe and they see them from how they see them. But also there are us who there are things that we value and we see them from our point of view. And umejua ukiongea about barabara, hawa ni watu wenye wanataka kwenda Dubai kupiga picha kwa yacht. So when you're talking about the road, what is important to them is the airport and the passport. So when you are talking about unconstructed stadium, with them, what is important for them is the malfunctioning printing machine ya passport pale Nyayo House. That is what matters to them, because majority of them wants to get out as quick as they can. So I mean, there are a lot of dynamics, and it's not. You see, they say that. I mean, as time goes by, a lot of things change, and the more time goes by, the more the things change, and the more they stay the same. They stay the same in the context that, I mean, naturally, I mean, there's a natural point of conversion and diversion. But again, there are a lot of things that have changed. Technology, there's just too much of things that have changed that, I mean, we just have to appreciate and acknowledge it. And the things that have changed are the things that define the current generation, not the ones that have remained.
Muzalendo, we can't hear you.
Well, what I'm saying is that this is a generation that, as Dave has put it, there are issues that they really care about. Like in America here, if you hear the conversation in the colleges and the people who are going to vote for Kamala Harris, for example, are the people who care about the LGBTQ rights. The people who care, they are the people who care about abortion right, a right of choice, you know. That is the kind of generation we are talking about. These are the generation who are futuristic. Are futuristic. They're looking at modern ways of doing things in terms of technology, in terms of transport. Naona hiyo barabara, mbona spande ndege kwenda Nyalugunga, mbona kwenda bullet train kwenda nyumbani. They look at things that are probably achievable, but they look at it in their own context and view. Other than our generation, the issues that maybe there is a meeting point in the issues that we share. There's some commonality in some issues, but generally they are independent according to what Davis is telling us, Mr. Penny. And even as we wind up, I would like you to give me your closing remarks on this particular subject. This is a subject that we need a whole day to chambua and have like 2-3 more Gen Zs to confirm some of these issues. But I think wamejipanga kulingana na Dave vile anasema wamejipanga Penny. And I think you've learned one or two things from Dave. Penny.
yangu ni kusema kwamba you are so in attract to gentleman kama huyu wa GNC ambaye anazungumza mzuri sana, na keep it up, wawaje wengine wengi kama yeye. Yote ni kusema kwamba kama huyu Marara, we support him, we have a reason why. Na GNC ikisupport mwingine, they have a reason why. And the right person win. Hiyo tu. Let the right person win na tuendelee. We don't have to use ya kwamba huyu ameshinda, therefore I hate him or I hate that person. Hiyo ni ushenzi of the first order. Then whoever wins on ideas, and we continue with life like that. Asante sana Mzalendo. Yeah.
Your last remark, Bwana Dave.
I think for me, I would just comment on, whatever is going on right now. I think it's important for us to put our country in prayer, because over the last week we have seen things that we have never imagined can happen, but they have happened right in front of our faces. And to be honest with you, from my little knowledge, our country is in a silent crisis that majority doesn't, those who know it doesn't want to speak of it. But whatever is going to happen from now, or whatever happened from Friday going forward, is either going to shape or break our country in terms of when it comes to politics and political responsibilities and authorities of the highest office in this country, not in this country. So it's just to keep an eye, and we pray. The few people we can interact with, we do for them civic education on what really matters to them. You see, sometimes as a people, we may think that there are things that matters to us, which in real sense doesn't matter to us. So it's just my hope and my desire that as we move forward as a country and as a people of a country in a different country, which is also heated right now, I wish that may God guide us and give us the understanding of what really matters to us, so that when we're making a decision, we make a decision that is going to propel us into the positive direction that we are supposed to go, not the one we want to go, but where we are supposed to go and where God wants us to be. So yeah, that's my closing remark. And the DP's impeachment, he only I came in late, so I don't even know what was going on, but I think I'll end it at that.
All right, thank you very much, Dave and Penny. You never disappoint. Penny, thank you for the wise counsel, and Dave, thank you for opening our eyes to the issues that are happening around the Gen Z movement. And this movement is alive, viewers. This movement is alive. If you have not subscribed to Afrique on X, make sure that you follow us on X and on Facebook pages. And make sure you subscribe, because there are so many people watching us and they have not subscribed to Afrique. We cannot see you on our numbers. Please make sure that you have subscribed to Afrique 24 so that you keep us and going, and you help us bring back people like Dave and Penny Nyagaka on the studio. We love our country. That's why we talk 2 hours, 30 minutes about Kenya and what should be done in Kenya. This has been your presenter and host, Mzalendo. See you next time.